Take 13. Is your life kinda complicated? Welcome to One Take, the podcast designed to seek wisdom to live simple, healthy, and happy. We'll get there one take at a time. I'm your host, Jasmine Thomas. Hi everyone, welcome to One Take, the podcast. I am your host, Jasmine Thomas, and today I have probably the most special guest that I've ever had on the show. He's almost passing out right now. You hear him laughing? That's my son. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. That's my son, Zachary Thomas. Come on, Zach. He just literally fell backwards. How are you?
Good.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
He's totally red. Buddy, you're red. Did you know that?
Yes.
Why are you red?
I don't know.
All right. Well, forget about the computer. Forget about the microphone. We're just going to have a chat because you had a pretty outstanding wrestling season, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And just last weekend, to tell you guys, last weekend was the first weekend I didn't publish a podcast out of all the months that since I've started. And that's because we were out of town, and I was out of time. So, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that later on. But we were down in Houston, and Zach, tell us, why did we go to Houston?
So I can go to, so I would wrestle in a state tournament.
Okay, so let's give people some background because I want to talk to them about your season and how the things that you learned throughout the season, you know what, buddy? They actually serve us as an example for our own seasons, for everyone's season, because we all have a season. You have a wrestling season, and we all have a season in life. So when did we start this year's wrestling season?
What do you mean?
Like, when did we start going to the tournaments? Like back in October or something like that?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, and tell everyone how many years have you been wrestling? What do you like about it?
I've been wrestling for 3 seasons, and I like winning in it.
So you like winning?
Yes.
What about training? Do you like training?
Yes.
Do you like losing?
No.
Nobody likes to lose. And Zach, tell us what you achieved at the end of the season. At the tournament, tell us what the tournament name was and what happens at that tournament.
It was the open state. It was people with kids with 3 years in progress of 3 years in progress of wrestling, wrestled in that tournament, and they wrestle in their own weight and division, weight and age.
Okay, and so everyone, some people know you, so they know about your specifics. But tell everyone what your age is and the weight category that you were competing.
I was competing in the 92 weight class at the 8 and 9 age.
8 and 9, and since then you turned 10.
Yes.
Awesome. How does that feel?
Good.
Any different?
No.
No, he turned a big 10 guy. So we just celebrated his birthday on March 3rd. Congratulations, Zach.
Yay.
So I want to talk to you because one of the things that we've been talking to you about, in order for you to become a better wrestler, which is the topic of today's podcast, is to take control of your emotions, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What was happening last season that was impeding you from being a better wrestler than you were?
When I was losing, I'll get emotional.
And then what happened?
I would lose
But why?
because when I get emotional, I lose my focus.
Exactly. So, say he was having a match, and then the other guy would score a point or something, and or he would get you on your back, and instead of fighting through that, you would get upset, right?
Yes,
And sometimes you were crying in the match.
sometimes.
Sometimes. And what does it feel like to be in that position?
It doesn't feel good for sure.
I know, yeah, because if you guys know anything about wrestling, I don't know much about wrestling, very little. But why don't you want to be on your back?
Because if you're on your back, the second you're both shoulder blades on your back, you get pinned and lose the match.
Exactly. So last season, one of the things that we noticed that you were getting frustrated when you were on your back and you were getting emotional, and you were actually losing matches not because you didn't have the physical skill to win them, but because you were losing your focus because you were getting emotional, right?
Yes.
And so what happened this year? Because something special happened, Zach. Tell us.
I didn't get emotional during the match.
Exactly. And how do you get to that? What happened inside of you that you said, I'm just not going to cry?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know, but you remember we gave you that feedback, right? That you needed to be focused and don't get emotional.
Didn't really remember that.
You don't remember that?
Nope.
Do you remember what you just had for lunch?
Yes, chili with apples and milk.
Best chili ever, by the way. Brisket chili. So, yeah, pretty good. So, and now you are able to get really far as from what you've been doing throughout the season. Tell us where did you place on the end of the season tournament, and how do you feel about that?
I placed fourth at the state tournament at the end of the season, and I felt good about it because that means I was the fourth best in my weight and age group.
And I know you are very proud, and we're so proud of you, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it was in the state of Texas.
Exactly. And so what's going to happen next season? What did you learn from this season that you're going to use for next season?
Well, I'm going to use, instead of getting, wait, what?
What happened this season that's going to make you a better wrestler next season?
Well, what happened this season was I didn't get emotional, and I didn't get emotional during the match. So next season if I'm starting to get emotional, I can turn it to anger and use it in the match.
And turning to anger, use it in a good way, like,
Like turning it into aggression.
Exactly. Against your opponent. Opponent?
Opponent.
Say it for me.
Opponent. It's OP, not UP. OP. Opponent.
Okay, English lesson here. So you're going to use those feelings of frustration, and instead of getting upset, you're going to get at it. You're going to take action.
Yes.
Awesome. I am so excited about that. And Zach, you also remember that through this season, we've been doing some traveling to your different tournaments around. And there was one that we went to down in the Austin area. And I wanted to bring this up because that's something that you notice and everyone noticed. And I think it's a good learning lesson for us. And it's a good example of the topic of today's podcast, which is taking control of your emotions to basically to win in life. Now, we were watching a match, and we're not saying names or anything that's gonna pinpoint to any particular person. But what was going on at this match?
Which one?
The one in Round Rock.
Yeah, win or lose.
No, you and I were watching it. So we were watching this match where one of the coaches got involved into stopping the match. Remember?
Oh, yes. So,
So give us some background of what happened without saying any names.
so this boy, he was wrestling another boy that was in my bracket, and he poked, he poked his opponent in the eye. So the coach of the dad of the kid that got poked lost his toothpaste and tried and choked the kid that poked the kid that poked. So the dad of the kid that got poked tried choking the kid that poked the other kid.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background. We're watching this match. It's kids in his bracket, so it's important for him to watch it because he wants to know his opponents. So suddenly the kids go out of bounds. I didn't see the eye poking, but people saw the eye poking. And when you go out of bounds, the refs stop the match, right?
Yes.
So the ref blew the whistle to stop the match. And there's so many matches going on at the same time that sometimes kids don't realize it's their match they're stopping. So this is when we see the father of one of those kids, who is also the coach of the kid. He jumps on the mat and picks up one of the kids from his back, kind of like full Nelson style, if you guys know, a little bit of wrestling, like with both hands behind his neck. And it was like a rag doll, that because that's a big guy. So he's picking up this 90-pounder kid, but then he starts choking him. And what do you think? To me, I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. What do you think, Zach?
I thought that was retarded.
And I remember you telling me that. And that's not a word that we like you to use. And that's not a word that you or any of your friends should be using. But I think for that moment, it was the right word to use. Was that scary for you to see that?
Well, it wasn't scary. It was surprising for me to see that.
Why? What do you expect from adults? Do you expect them to act like that?
No. Why would they?
Exactly. So, and that was just one of the most shocking things. It's probably the most shocking thing I saw all season, to see an adult pick up a kid that's, they have no relation to and start choking this kid. And obviously he was thrown out of the match and out of the gym. And I think they had to forfeit, didn't they?
Yes, they had to.
Yeah, and then at the same time, another coach got thrown out for the second time. So for the second time in a row, another coach, we saw him getting thrown out and challenged the authority of the refs. So here we are at this tournament where kids are trying to showcase their best, and we are being distracted by the behavior from some of the coaches that are supposed to be good examples. What do you expect from your coaches, Zach? What kind of behavior do you expect to see of them?
I expect to see, what kind of behavior I expect to see from my coaches is like not the kind of behavior that you'll pick up a kid and choke him.
What would you have liked to see if I was your mom and you were the kid being choked? What would you have expected of me?
I would expect you to kick him in the face.
Well, that's not going to help. I tell you what, the parent of the other kid was also the coach, and he was very cool. I don't know if he was cool about it or not, but he was much cooler than I would have been. I would have been going crazy there, asking for this other coach to be thrown out or something. But the lesson here is you have to take control of your emotions to win in life. Do you agree?
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, I think it's time to dismiss this boy. I want to thank you, Zach, so much for being on the show today. I'm happy people get to know a little bit about you. And I want you to know that we are very proud of you. I know you work really hard at practice, and sometimes you're sore, and sometimes you have bruises because you guys are tough during practice. But if you don't keep doing your best at practice and every single day of your life, you cannot expect to be better, right?
Yep.
All right, guys, that means he's done. How long have we been talking? 15 minutes of full attention. That's amazing. Okay, Zach, I'm going to let you go. You want to say some last words to our audience?
Bye.
All right, guys, and that's what I wanted to share with you because I think it is a good example of things that totally blow your mind out when you see them. And it is how we as adults act when we lose control of our emotions and really the effect that can have in the long term. I mean, that is a drastic example that I just laid out for you, the behavior of this coach. It is a drastic example, but there are examples that I can pull from my personal life and my everyday life that would turn into a much better outcome if I had only control of my emotions, to make decisions, to make comments, to respond to stressful situations. Not taking control of your emotions, I believe, can hinder your ability to be successful and to get where you are supposed to be in your life. And as I reflect in this topic of taking control of your emotions, I realize that sometimes, and we all do this, and you have to be aware of it to be able to stop it. We all do this as we may have an issue containing our anger, our disappointment, whatever it is. And we think it's everybody else's job to deal with it, So we are angry and we drive like beasts on the highway. Or we are upset and we are rude to everyone around us. Or we are feeling discouraged and we just rain on every parade that we see around us. Typical examples of this. You go to work. People tell you, oh, it's only Monday. I mean, I've said that. I bet you've said it, We think that that's going to achieve what? You're just giving people a bad impression of you because it's only Monday. Really? That's the expectation that you have for your day or your week? And I've been there. So that's why I'm saying this. I'm not shaming anyone. I've been there. I've said that. Or thank God it's Friday, The thank God it's Friday because I can't stand being around here anymore. How is that going to make our lives better? I am a true believer that if you are not happy with what you have or where you are, only you can change it. And this has been a recurring theme throughout my podcasts. I keep telling you guys, if you're not happy, you cannot expect anybody around you to make Monday a great day. You have to make it a great day. To make Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday a great day. And if things are not working out for you, the easy way is just to complain. The hard way is to do something about it. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of news here, but I'm not going to talk too much about it now because I think that's a topic for a different podcast. But if you've noticed a theme throughout this series of podcasts, I have been looking for wisdom, looking for information to become a better person, to live a more fulfilling life. And a big part of my life, because that's where I spend 9 hours of my day, is my job. And for some time, I've not been fulfilled with what I'm doing at my job. Some part of it due to reasons and factors that I can control, and some due to factors that are beyond my control. But after realizing about these, I did nothing and felt bad about myself until one day I woke up and I decided, you need to change this. If you don't like it, you need to change it. If you are not happy, then you need to change it. And, I've been working for a few months into changing the path of my career. And that's all I'm going to say today, because I'll go into detail about my reasons and all that stuff some other time. But I'm really happy to share with you guys that in a couple weeks, I'm going to be starting a new job that exceeded my expectations of what my next step would be. A new job that would allow me to really write that next chapter of your life. And it sounds cliche and everybody says that, but it really is. If you look at it that way, it is your life and you write it. You decide where you want to take it. And I am writing the next chapter and I am so proud of where I'm going. And that's because I decided to stop complaining and feeling bad about things happening around myself and taking action, taking control of my emotions. That's what did it for me. I took action because I took control of my emotions. And I know that we all have something going on right now and that your emotions are hindering your progress. You need to take control of those emotions. What is it? Anger? Is it fear? Is it lack of confidence? You need to take control of it. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that it's only you who can change it. And you're going to want to do that because I'm going to tell you something. In the long run, you're going to notice how people start parting from you because they don't like to be around you. Because you are the one that complains all the time. You are the one that's in a bad mood all the time. And somehow it's their job to deal with you, right? It's everyone else's job to deal with my bad attitude. No, it's not. It is my job. That's why I made this year, 2017, for me, the year of good attitude. That's why I made a commitment to myself to change the things that I wasn't happy about. And I've been doing that myself. There will be times when I would have conversations with people and these conversations were very negative and they were just complaining. And now when I see them, I'll greet them with joy and everything. But guess what? I'm cutting down the length of time that I spend talking to these friends because there's so much you can take. When you're trying to make a difference, when you're trying to turn things around, you need to surround yourself with people who are walking on the same path as you are. And if you are surrounded yourself by people who are very negative and they're just criticizing other people and they're just complaining and they're not focusing on how they can take their lives to full potential and their careers to full potential and their friendships to full potential, then that starts getting into you. And so what I've been doing, I've been putting aside the people, not in a mean way. I'm just not spending as much time as I used to with some of the characters that are weighing me down because it's not a good thing for you. And, how can you give back when all you're feeding yourself is negative? You can't. And if you don't realize about it, then you're just going to keep going down. My advice for you is face the feelings and the emotions that are hindering you from achieving the greatest potential that you have. It is controlling our emotions that's going to take us to the next level. Where do you want to get? Look into the mirror. We could all make a list, a huge list. So when you get there, my advice is focus on the top two. Like I said, for me, it's having a better attitude. And you have no idea how many things have changed in my life as a result of me focusing on having a better attitude, on giving the universe positive energy, on feeding myself of positive thoughts, on sharing with people positivity. I'm not perfect, and not every minute is perfect. And there's conversations that I have with friends about negative things going on around my life. It's okay, but just don't let that weigh on you and control the direction of your life. Control your emotions, guys. Take control of it. So that's my message for you today. And I wanted to talk to you guys about something else. I have decided, at least for the next few months, to scale back on the frequency that I publish the podcast for a couple of reasons. Like I've shared with you guys today, I'm going to be taking a new job and I want to spend and focus my time on making sure that I am the best for it, on making the transition, focus, learn everything that I need to learn. And so that's one of the reasons. Reason number 2, my team, my volleyball team that I coach with my daughter, we started already. Back 2 weeks ago, we started practice. Our season starts officially at the end of March. So I'm going to have to spend some time with the team, coaching them and getting ready for the games and, being at the games. So that's going to cut down my free time that I spend now doing the podcast. So for those 2 reasons, I want you to know I'm not abandoning you or anything. I am just scaling back because I want to make sure that what I do, it's worth of your ears. So I don't want to just, in order to publish weekly, just put together some show that I won't be happy with and that you're going to wonder, well, is this what is this why we're listening for? I don't want you to have that feeling. I want you to have a feeling that this is a good show that's making you better, that's giving you insight and information and some stories that would make you reflect on your own life and that will give you feeling better than you were before you tuned in. So for that reason, I'll be scaling back. Will this change later? Maybe so. Especially after the volleyball season, maybe. But I'll keep you updated. So just know that every 2 weeks, I'm going to be publishing the podcast. And this is also going to give me more time to write for my blog because there's a lot of things that I want to, that I've been taking notes on, stories that I want to write on. And I'm not able to because I'm spending my free time working on the podcast. Believe it or not, a podcast takes a lot of work. So, yeah, something I did not realize when I was starting, but I'm happy I'm doing it and I will continue to do it. And the more you do it, the faster you get at it. But there is a lot of work that has to be done in the background in order for the show to be produced and to be finally on the air. That there's quite a bit of work that has to be done. So for those reasons, I'll be scaling it back as a temporary measure, and I'll keep you guys updated as things change. For today, this is all I have to share with you guys. Remember, you can always check the show and the other shows and the show notes on my blog. That would be www.yasminthomas.com. And you can connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. Those are my main social media channels that I use. You can find me at Yasmin Thomas. Till the next time, guys, don't forget, just keep it simple. I'm going to talk to you on the next take.